Hello everybody. As we discussed, from 8th July onwards, Rahu started transiting Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra. At the same time, Saturn is also in the retrograde motion in the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra. And this retrograde Saturn would be in the Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra till 2nd October. After that also it will be in the retrograde motion, but it is going to be in the Shatabhisha Nakshatra after 2nd October. So Shatabhisha Nakshatra is a kind of different energy. It's a kind of healing energy. It's a kind of secretive energy, not letting the things out. This kind of energy. That's a kind of different story. But the two nakshatras here, actually, they made me to do this video, you can say. The two nakshatras are Purva Bhadrapada and Uttara Bhadrapada. These Bhadrapadas, they generally show the ending. They generally show a kind of funeral things. So even if you observe the symbolism, of Pura Bhadrapada Nakshatra, its symbolism is the front legs of a funeral cot, and the symbolism of Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra is the back legs of a funeral cot. So these Bhadrapadas, the Purva Bhadrapada is much more violent, and it's very much repulsive. It's like a very big murderer, it shows, right? And Uttara Bhadrapada also has that energy. At the same time, it has some spiritual conversion also. But inside Uttara Bhadrapada is also a very, very repulsive energy, right? It's something like a very big ocean, but inside the ocean a very big tsunami is already present. So such kind of energy is Uttara Bhadrapada, but Purva Bhadrapada is completely a criminal kind of it's a very repulsive thing, but it has two sides. Even though it has this kind of criminality, but the other side, it shows, it tries to hide that behavior. With outsiders, it behaves very polite. So that is Purva Bhadrapada, but both are very, very repulsive, you can say, inside. And this Purva Bhadrapada shows that repulsiveness very quickly, even though it is very much, it behaves like a very polite person for outsiders. But when time comes, it shows that repulsive behavior automatically. It's not at all a very, very positive nakshatra. Purva Bhadrapada is not at all a positive nakshatra, right? I already made another a video on that, right? Generally people think Arudra is very, very bad. It's very repulsive. But Purva Bhadrapada is much more than that, right? Because Arudra is Rudra, is a fierce form of Shiva, as very, very, war-liking and a kind of a very repulsive nakshatra, generally people say. Because even if you observe the First World War and Second World War, during that Arudra was very active. I think Saturn was transiting Arudra during First World War or the Second World War, right? We already made some videos on that. But anyways, even compared to Arudra also, the fierce form of Rudra is present in Purva Bhadrapada. It's a kind of corpse, right? A dead body's play kind of. It's a very, very, awkward nakshatra also sometimes. The violent nature present in Purva Bhadrapada, you cannot describe that in words also. And here, why I am very much interested in this combination here is during this period 8th July 2024 to 2nd October 2024. During this period, the retro Saturn is holding is with Purva Bhadrapada, whereas the Rahu is with Uttara Bhadrapada. Right? After 2nd October, Saturn leaves Purva Bhadrapada. It will go to Shatabhisha. Shatabhisha is completely a different energy. It's not a kind of very big repulsive, or you cannot say that. It's completely a kind of secretive, and that video also we can make on Shatabhisha. But Purva Bhadrapada and Uttara Bhadrapada, these Bhadrapadas are very dangerous. Right? The inside element of Purva Bhadrapada and Uttara Bhadrapada is very, very repulsive. So whenever just see this combination, I think this combination may not come very frequently. We may need to check when this kind of combination comes again, because the retro Saturn is in Purva Bhadrapada, whereas the Rahu is in Uttara Bhadrapada during this period 8th July to 2nd October 2024. So one is activating the front legs of funeral cot and another one is activating the back legs of funeral cot. Right? And Rahu is listening to Saturn. Here Saturn is the master because the Uttara Bhadrapada's lord is Saturn. So Rahu is listening to Saturn, and of course here Saturn is in Purva Bhadrapada. Purva Bhadrapada's lord is Jupiter. But one thing, Saturn comes to this, Saturn has more say here, because Saturn is in the sign of Aquarius. It's completely the Mula Trikona house of Saturn. Even though it acts like working for Jupiter, the Saturn is working for Jupiter, right? As Purva Bhadrapada belongs to Jupiter, but Saturn has to do its duty here, because the whole thing is in Aquarius, a Mula Trikona of Saturn. Mula Trikona means the duty performing house of Saturn. So here, as a whole, I want to tell Saturn has more say, right? So Saturn is controlling everything and Rahu is listening to Saturn, and Saturn and Rahu are with Bhadrapadas. Bhadrapadas are like, very repulsive. And here, the main thing we may need to focus here is a very common man, right? A very common man can become very repulsive because Saturn represents a very, very common man. So 8th July 2024 to 2nd October 2024, you can see all over the world how the common men are going to become very, very repulsive, right? So let us say governments all over the world are not concerning these common people, then there is a high probability that these common men will become very, very repulsive. And of course, when things are not going fine, in the normal days also they are repulsive, but that I am not talking about that minimal repulsiveness. I am talking about the extreme repulsiveness of common men here, right? So all over the world, you can clearly understand where the governments are lacking. in making this common man comfortable. If they are not taking care somewhere in some regions or in some countries, in those countries this common man can go to extreme levels of repulsiveness. So this period is very very interesting period if you observe, right? This is how Saturn is establishing dharma, you can say, because the governments at minimum they have to consider, they have to make the common man happy. If not happy, at least they make them to an extent, some, they should put them in some comfortable level, right? If not, their repulsiveness is going to be very very extreme levels. So I can say this particular period has more repulsion. The repulsion content, the repulsion energy is more in this area, in this 8th July to 2nd October. So thanks for watching this video. I will post another video tomorrow because I observed another interesting thing also in this transit. Thank you.